It's a close leg to start off with there. Referee having a problem already, trying to decide between the two there. It's a rare dry break from Lee Myers.
That's Cork presumably going to play this red to this the bottom left hand side, obviously to avoid the yellow that's covering.
30 seconds.
Going to try and hold it onto the middle pocket, which he's done extremely well. Rob Cork, a veteran of these events. It's his 6th Booster event.
Very convincing yesterday against Bobby Hutchison. It's a 5-2 win. Unfortunately, I have to say, reporting for being a Strathclyde boy.
Rob quite obviously trying to pop both of those two, in my opinion, in that shot, leaving himself well on that red into the middle. Perfect positional play. And a great dish to start off Rob's campaign in this semi-final. So Nick, do you have a favourite in this particular match?
Well, I have played Rob a few times myself in individuals and in the home nations. He's a very tough campaigner, however. My particular favourite has to be Morris, given his display last year. He's absolutely clinical in amongst the balls. However, never write off Rob Cork.
Well, he's just demonstrated exactly what he can do right there. Lee Myers, a fellow Welshman. It's nice to see them doing well, despite going to an English university.
Or a Scotsman, do you?
Very true there. It's a disappointing break there, Pat and the White. Are we going to see the same thing Cork did to Morris in the first frame? Just the other way around?
Pretty sure he's going to be open for reds here.
I would imagine so. The only real difficult red being the one next to the black, the bottom left-hand bag.
But that does act. That does act as kind of collateral. It's effectively
Indeed.
blocking the path.
We might even consider playing the plant into that at some point, as Lee Morris is known for being a very, very attacking player. Both of these players are sure to represent the English universities in Dublin in the home nations this year. Well, I'll be seeing you as well, Mick, won't I?
Yes, indeed you will. It's not worked out well for Morris there.
No, not at all.
I don't know whether this could be a ruling here.
It's a possible swerve shot here, but it's very risky, but I can't see any alternative at the moment. He's got no easy safety option here. He might be forced to take on the swerve.
Cubo's obviously going to be running through though if he is playing the swerve.
Oh, what a cracking shot that is.
I stand corrected.
Lee Morris now showing us what he can do at this time in a late event. It's absolutely perfect. Now does this red go into this bag? I think he's got a half pocket here. And look at that. And that's a dish apiece as we enter the third frame. Cracking stuff already. Surprisingly, both players winning on their opponent's break. I'm sure that will change very shortly.
It's almost an analogy to be drawn between maybe with darts and obviously having the first throw.
Exactly, it's a massive advantage in this game, especially once you hit this level. But as you've seen, there's been a dry break and Rob Cork potting the white in the second frame there. It's amazing how often the white goes in off the break. Rob Cork winning his semi-final 5-2, his quarter-final, I'm sorry, and Lee Morris winning his 5-0.
I agree with the last comment, Hugh. When you maybe perhaps reach this calibre, you start to deconstruct, I suppose, your game. Maybe have practice purely at breaking, perhaps rail shots, screw shots. And you're right. It's strange the frequency of how often these top-level players still put the white in off the break.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be. I would be very. I wouldn't imagine they'd pot the white during the middle of a frame that often, if at all, in this match. It would certainly be unlike either of these players to do that type of thing. Although that's not a great shot from Rob there. Would have preferred being a couple of inches away from that left-hand rail there. Similar to snooker in the way you do your lineups to practice your shots. These boys, I'm sure, do a similar type of thing to up their game.
And apparently Lee was particularly worried before the game due to nerves, but being a Welsh black ball international, I'm sure that'll come into play.
But when you understand you've got to play Rob Cork, I don't think there'd be anyone who wouldn't be worried. I certainly played Rob a few times back in the day when I was in university, and I certainly was worried every time I came across him. Luckily, I no longer have to play him, so I don't get so worried. Both these players are ex-quarterfinalists at this event. Rob Cork getting to the quarterfinals, I believe last year, if I'm correct. It might have been 2006.
Yeah, I think it was 2006.
He certainly didn't have a good 2007, but still qualified for the English Universities team. Based on his performance this year, it looks like he's going to make a 6th straight appearance. How many appearances are for you, Mick? It must be 5 now.
Yes, it is 5. I've been competing since 2003. Every year's been fantastic, and I think it's me, Rob, and Paul Mackay. I think might be perhaps roughly the last 3 that have still made it. 2009.
You'll all be losing your hair very shortly.
I do believe this is Rob's last appearance, however, at Books.
Mind you, speaking to him over the last couple of years, he wasn't expecting to be in this year's.
Indeed, however, Rob's not only a very clinical pool player, he's also a clever lad, and has just had his viva for his PhD. So,
At Cambridge College. Lee, of course, representing University of Western England here, based just outside Bristol, I believe. He's a Newport boy, South Wales. Plays on the Black Ball Tour there. We haven't really had a chance to see Lee Morris's safety game in this championship, as he's only lost 1 frame prior to this semi-final. So, and we all know how Rob can play safety.
30 seconds.
I was actually just checking to see where that could be a potential plant at the bottom left-hand pocket if the other yellow was to be knocked out of the road. However, it doesn't look like it from where I'm sitting.
Certainly doesn't go now.
Fortunately, Lee only 2 bits of toast this morning.
That's an unfortunate shot there by Lee Morris. It's going to take a good shot not to leave Rob on anything after this.
Yeah, shot Rob. Second visit.
It was almost a clever shot there.
Very clever shot.
Yes, Rob. Yes.
Fantastic.
It's now left Rob a very difficult shot to keep the ball safe.
What I think Rob is eyeing up here is perhaps the red onto the yellow, onto the red, to obstruct those rails going in. However, that'd be quite an aggressive game, so.
If he pulls it off, he's pretty much put himself in the driving seat in this frame.
30 seconds.
Be interesting to see perhaps where this black's moved in this shot.
Probably didn't go quite according to what Rob was hoping in his head there, but he has stopped Lee getting onto 2 of his yellows. But they should be easily broken up by the yellow right next to on that left-hand rail there. And that's a great shot by Lee. Do you think Rob's going to roll this red through into the yellow, deliberate foul?
For me personally,
Or is it
if he's
just
going to deliberate foul, if you're angry deliberate foul in that situation, you would want the white on the rail, play it with lots of top spin,
Indeed.
pot that 2 shots, and then cover those 2 yellows.
I can see a great crowd watching this game, and many more watching in their caravans around this Great Yarmouth holiday park.
30 seconds.
And everyone on Q Sports TV.
You asked the question, Piggy.
Forcing Lee to play a safety of his own back. I don't think that's what Lee intended. I don't think he wanted to get that red out
Well,
as far as that.
it's an interesting shot, obviously, in terms of developing his yellow, and I think he wanted to push that red onto the rail.
Yeah, maybe even in front of the black to decommission the black in this game.
This is interesting. There could be a possibility of going for this red and screwing into that red and yellow combination. But
Covering the bag with the red itself.
again, apologies for my aggressive full playing. Fantastic. Very, very
Oh.
unfortunate though.
Can you get past this black now? Because if he can, I think he can get a squeeze it between those Lee Morris's 2 yellows on the rail. Maybe deliberate foul. However, leaving Lee Morris at any point with 2 shots. Don't know about you, it's never really a good idea.
Well, 2 visits.
These players know each other very well, both representing the English universities last year, Rob being the captain.
Second visit.
30 seconds.
Now does Lee have this a plant on one yellow onto the other?
Lee's very aggressive. I think he may be taking this in to the bottom right hand pocket. Screwing back.
30 seconds.
What do I know? I suppose that's why I'm sitting.
Last year's winner, Rich Wharton, watching intensely at the side. Him and Lee are very good friends, both play on the tour together, and of course they both know Rob very well.
That's it, lad.
30 seconds.
Alright, Higgins, still trying to play left one.
It's an interesting shot. Yeah, play right. I think you might give this an attempt now.
And the Dangle's definitely to take that yellow from the other side.
And that's a great shot. Has he covered that yellow? Is it too close to the red? I think the clearance is now not really on, unless he can pull out something quite special. He might even opt to just cover this bag.
The yellow nearest to the red.
So play the one yellow off his other yellow, off the rail, off the yellow. Try and open it out a bit, just like that. And if he can get a cut on this, he's almost certain to win the frame.
His gesticulations don't point towards that way, though, do they?
No, just bring it up.
It's going to be on this cushion.
I don't expect Lee to miss this black.
No pressure, Lee.
You'd usually get this 12 times out of 10. That was a good black there from Lee. They call him Cruncher for a reason.
And what's that reason, Hugh?
Because he likes to crunch out the dishes, doesn't he? Yeah. And I hear he does like his cereal in the morning.
I thought he had a heavy step.
Rob Cork's nickname here being Corky. I have no idea why though.
Perhaps it's because he's the stopper. Prevents players from progressing.
He is very good at playing the safety games overall wrong. Do you have a particular nickname in the pool field, Mr. Rogers?
Not particularly. It's usually have it quite, as I said before, quite an aggressive game. So usually phrases like dafty spring to mind, but not particularly. Just plain old Mick. What about yourself, Hugh?
No, when I was in university, not really. I tried to spread the name Hurricane Hugh, but not many people would liking the idea, so that fell on.
It's to no avail really when you try and give yourself a moniker, isn't it? It's really got to come from other mouths.
Indeed. The staff, Dr. Yarth Griffiths, the chairman of the UPC, has recently started calling me Hugh the Q. I'm not sure if I agree with that. My game has certainly dropped a couple of notches since I've left the universities. But I still like to think I'm able to give some people a game. Once a year, anyway. Lee opted in for the red option there. I reckon he'll pop this one down the bag. Get onto the one just above the yellow. Has he got the option of knocking the red, the two reds which are near the rail, one of them down by using the middle ball? He gets on that middle one into the middle pocket, filling himself and just rolling it down the rail. Has to be very direct with his positional shot, but
He's a very convincing player when it's congested from particular spots. He's really good developing balls.
there we see an attempted development. It's quite a risky shot, that.
This red passes to the bottom left hand pocket.
Right, Higgins! Right, Higgins!
Looks like he's got a chance to develop this red, which is tied up from the red over the middle. A little bit of screw back off the rail.
And there's a possibility to look screw into the middle, take out this red.
Oh, is he unlucky there? Can he get that red past that yellow? If he can't, he might even opt to play the red into the top pocket.
You're a brave man, you.
I certainly wouldn't attempt that, but Morris is quite happy sometimes to come off 5 cushions to lay himself up right behind the ball. There we go. Obviously it did go.
Foul. 2 visits.
It's a lovely shot there. And he takes the 4th frame. It's now 3-1 to Lee Morris. It's been very clinical at the moment, isn't it?
He's now starting to take control now of this game.
Certainly seems to be the more aggressive of the 2 players, and it's been working out for him. This event being played at Great Yarmouth for the first time, and a very welcome venue as well.
Perfect, man. That's the shot.
Bit of noise from the other semi-final going on. He'll take his time.
Alright, Higgy. Alright, Higgy, that's just man. It's a shitty one, bro. Nice, cool, man. Relax. Relax. All he's feeling about you.
Another try dish.
Indeed. I'd fancy Rob to take these balls, make it 3-2. If he's got an easy opener, he can always play the 1 yellow down onto 1 on the bottom right hand pocket.
It's interesting now, if he did have a chance at a yellow, he would be leading that yellow with the bag, given where the black is, to prevent a possible average on it.
Yeah.
However, I think he might have no other option to play on to.
Oh, that's a poor shot. I wasn't expecting that from Rob. However, he's been quite fortunate with where he's left the whites. Still expect Lee to pop this yellow into... do you think he'll take the one at the top there?
I think Lee will be taking the one in the middle of the table. Proves me wrong. I suppose, with hindsight, the yellow balls are open and important that he opens an avenue for the black.
I think he's just about fine to left himself on that yellow into the top right hand pocket, but he's very close to that red. Students watching from every corner of the country here. I believe Abertay University being the most northerly. Cardiff and Carmarthen in Wales. Northern Irish students from Ulster. And of course many unis across England.
Tapping the table, so it's perhaps going to be a play.
He's lost position a bit here, but he'll play the plant. Is that a foul there? Did he hit a cushion there in that shot? I'm not sure. We'll soon find out whether Rob takes 2 shots or not. It's a very rare mistake from Lee. Seems quite unhappy about that, but he has got a 2 frame advantage here, so he won't be too worried. Rob will certainly give the clearance a try
and be
here.
too worried. There was a possibility perhaps of playing this red into the right hand bin and dropping the white ball to the right hand side of the table and taking the red into the left. It certainly won't pop where it is just now.
Of course, the dangers in those type of shots here. Got a tight little pocket, but I'm sure he'll be taking this one. Can we get enough back on this?
Come on, take it. Come on, wee man.
The thing is, if he wants to leave the white near the right hand cushion with his red, even if he was to cover the bag, he's then taken it out of
That's a good
futile position into a relatively dangerous one. It's unlucky.
Oh yeah, he's missed that one. Obviously, Lee did hit a cushion on the last shot. We missed that one here. Do you think Lee will try and disturb these yellows down the bottom on the shot? If he's got the angle? No.
I don't think he had the angle for it. This bottom yellow would obviously pass down to the bottom left, but it will definitely be attempting that shot.
That's a very nice little shot there. Stopping Rob being able to play what he would naturally want to play in this situation. With Lee comfortably covering that top right hand pocket, making Rob's clearance attempt a very difficult one indeed.
Come on, Rob. Come on, Rob. 30 seconds.
Containing shot there. Rob. Putting his red in the bottom position.
And I believe, does that red pass between those 2 yellows? I believe it does, which is a bonus for Rob. That's a good vision on his part. If Lee had managed to drop this red into the middle pocket, certainly puts him in a very good position. With the black obviously very near this bottom right hand corner.
seconds.
These players obviously have to think quickly on their feet as they only get a minute per shot.
The 30-second call will be called regardless of whether the player is to play the shot or not.
Indeed, many a time there have been situations. That's a great little attempt there by Rob. Quite unfortunate. Looks like Lee's just going to safely finish this frame up by the looks of it. Yeah, we have had quite a few times situations where 30 seconds has been called as the ball is being cued. I remember it once happening in the team final.
But just to see how he develops this yellow and the top rail, whether it's just going this back and playing it into yellow, because obviously to get onto the black and playing this initial yellow, the bigger the distance between the last ball and the black, the harder the shot.
30 seconds.
It doesn't really matter the angle on this yellow. If it's straight, you can screw right back. If it's not, he's obviously got an angle to get back up onto those yellows. It's quite a nice first ball to have. I think he was wanted to screw back at least a foot more than he did. But he's still got the shot on. And now this is just a routine finish. Pop the one into top left hand pocket, onto the right and bring the right down. This will really worry Rob Cork. Oh dear. I think he's been a bit lucky there. I don't think he wanted to come that far down the table, having that massive gap in the middle, but it's no problem. He's got the frame. I believe that's 4-1 to Lee Lewis.
Deep, starting to dominate.
Showing how he's only lost one frame prior to this semi-final encounter.
Best of 9, first to 5 affair. Lars need one more to secure a place in the final. Whereas, I believe, a pot of £600 for the winner, 300 for the finalist.
That is correct. Pot's gone up this year as there's a lot more players taking part with a bigger venue. Allowing that, I'm sure that £600 would be very nice considering he's a student.
Think of the big beans.
And the beer. It's going to be a tough battle for Rob to get back into this game. At the moment he hasn't really had the chances. Lee's just taking the chances he can. This is a good opportunity. Do you think he'll take the red option here or stick on the yellows?
Well, the red over the bottom left is definitely give an influencing factor.
It's just whether he's got a pot on the red at the beginning, isn't it?
Just to go back to your final point though, Hugh, given how experienced Rob is as a campaigner, he's used to the one full format. I've been the team about, I'm sure he'll apply that strategy to this game and not even contemplate the 4-1 deficit.
30 seconds. Yellow ball's in play.
Wiped his feet.
He's looking to knock this red out of the bottom pocket area, thus allowing his other 3 yellows, which do go into that pocket, to slip in nicely there. It's a big shot though, this one.
He has got 2 options here. He's either to recover the black on the left hand side or play it off the red.
Off the red.
To allow space for the 2 yellows nearest to that pocket.
He's decided against that option now. Lee Morris has now won 27 frames in this tournament, losing only 2. It's quite a record there. But Rob was 2-0 down in the semi-final and then came back to win 5-2, so he's very used to coming from behind and trying to get a win.
Come on, Higgins! Who wants the board? Hunger. Who wants the board, man?
And deep.
So what would you play here? Would you continue, obviously continue your assault to try to pot these yellows,
30 seconds.
take the 6th frame here? I just know if I was in this situation, I wouldn't really know what to do. It's a great pot there from Rob.
Just about to say he was going to pot that nail on the top left hand right there.
It's a good call there, Mick. A lot of support here for Rob Cork. There's 3 Cambridge teams in this competition, and he must be the only player to represent the University of Western England.
Fantastic. Played into a blind pocket. Cannon in the black. Perfect position. Feels 4-2.
No sign of nerves from Rob here. And the crowd very appreciative of that display there. The 2 players have a joke and a laugh together there.
Seven, later break, winning 4 points to 6.
It's interesting. Even there, Lee's white ball has moved considerably from where it was before. I think they're all happened there. The drop glass.
Indeed. It's nice to hear support from the crowd when glass gets smashed.
And that display of deference there to the semi-finals. Lee's white ball there for his break-off was considerably closer to the right-hand rail than what it was.
It was, and when he did pop the white off the break, I don't believe it hit any of the other balls. It just came off the cushion and went in. Mind you, he did get a little jump on the white when he broke those ones, so maybe he didn't actually connect with it like he would normally. But the results is still good, and he's now looking very, very big favourite to take this semi-final. Can't see any ball which is going to cause him a major problem here. Maybe getting the position off that top yellow, but for a player of Lee's standards, you'd imagine they'd quite easily. Oh, that was surprising there.
It's a bona fide commentator's curse there.
Indeed.
I think his objective there was just to slip in between those 2 reds.
He's still got this yellow to the bottom right here, and he should be able to get on either of his 2 yellows from this shot. The bottom would have been a lot easier, but not for position-wise. And that's a fantastic shot there from Lee.
Obviously a lot easier with the 4-2 score now as well.
Of course. Now he'll look to try and sneak behind these 2 reds, bring the white down the right-hand side. Here's £150 money for the loser in the semi-final, but it's still far from over. Do you think he's going to take the double here, or will he play the cut into the middle and bring the white round to play the black into the same pocket?
Yeah, he's going to get a lot better white ball if he's going to play the cut.
He's overdone that, but he's still on the black. No real in-off possibility here, unless he puts some odd spin on the ball. So he may as well give this an out-and-out shot.
It's black for the match.
Take it down to 5-2. And that's a fantastic. Lee Morris winning this in 5-2. Congratulations to Rob Cork. Fantastic player.
Very convincing one there for Lee.
That's now 28 frames he's won, compared to just 3 he's lost in this competition.